Hi, everyone, and welcome to part 3 of apple picking. Today, we're going to talk about formatting and creating borders and merging cells, as well as rounding our numbers. Because I don't know about you, but it's really hard to have a half of an apple or 0.75 or a third of an apple. This way, we can really be more accurate with the data we have. So, first off, our goal is to get it to look like this picture in part 3 apple picking assignment. So you'll notice that we're merging the headings to create more of a title for apple picking as well as sales for the fall. We're creating some color and borders. We're keeping the original data from apple picking part 2. And then we're also going to create some borders for the average for each week and the average overall. All right, so let's get started here. All right, so first off, I want to merge or create a title for my apple picking. I'm going to highlight A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I don't want to go any farther than G because that's about the size of my data on my sheet. So I'm in row 1, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and I'm going to merge. And I'm going to find the merge cells icon in the toolbar here. And it merges that. Now I'm going to do it separate than the second row here. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the first row, but I'm just going to do it in the second row. I don't want to merge the two together necessarily. I just want to merge them separately, but both expand from A to G. All right. And then I'm going to center that as well. Cool. Next, what I want to do is I want to highlight the headings. Apple Farms, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, average and totals. And I want to make them bold, or at least want them to be obvious. So it's really easy to see. So I'm going to paint that, and I'm going to pick blue. You can pick whatever color you want, but just so it's easy to read. And then I also want some borders. So I'm going to go to borders. Again, it's the window pane. And I just want it at the bottom. And I want a double. So you can choose what kind of border you want as long as it's easy to see. Perfect. Next, I want to separate average and totals from the weeks. So I'm going to highlight average here, the column, and I'm going to put the border on the left-hand side of that column. So I'm going to click on borders. I'm going to find the left-hand thing, and you can keep a double. It's totally up to you, or you can make it solid. It's like I said, it's up to you. So that's a solid one. So it's nice and easy to see. And then it looks like for average and overall average, I have some borders. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oops, let me minimize that a little bit so it's not so big. I'm going to highlight this, and it looks like I have just a border, top and bottom. So, or you could just say all the way around. We just don't want the borders to be in between all the numbers. So go all the way around. And then I'm also going to do the same for overall average here. And I could make it go all the way around. So I'm going to pick that one. And then for this one, I also need to change the inside color, and I'm going to choose yellow so it's really obvious, because I think that's the most important to know if we had a successful season in apple picking for all our apple farms here. Next, we're going to talk about rounding. And rounding is going to be important because in apples, I really like to round probably down. I don't want to be over zealous or overthinking, but let's double check our data here. Here it looks like they rounded, yep, we rounded instead of down, we rounded up. So if it was a 0.75, it would be rounded to 1. So to do that, I'm going to highlight all my data here. Just all the things that have information. I'm going to go all the way across. Oops. See, when you make a mistake, you just hit undo. So again, I'm going to highlight all my data. And it's okay if I highlight too many more cells. That's all right, because I just want to focus on the numbers. And here I'm going to go up, and this lets us decrease the decimals or increase, meaning increase we're rounding up, decreasing we're rounding down. So let's double check. If I increase the decimal place, I'm now rounding it by 1 decimal place. So you'll notice if you just choose 1, like it was, I'll go back here. If you just choose one, and this is how you can tell, I'm going to look at the 500.75. If I increase the decimal place, it rounds it up to the next decimal level. So now instead of 500.75, it's 500.8. So it's rounding up. And I'm going to go one more so I get whole numbers here. Oops. My fault here. There we go. Now I guess we want to round down. So you notice if you can go up decimal places and down decimal places. So I misspoke. We actually want to go down in our decimal places. So we're rounding down so that way we get some whole numbers here. So these are the roundings, the arrows with the decimal places. So we want to make sure they're whole numbers. Looks good. That's part 3. So I'm going to change this to part 3 and share. Get a shareable link. Make sure it's a can copy, can edit. Can edit, can comment, and then put it in the assignment for part 3 and submit in the submitting area.